Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel and the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. This is the WCW Saturday Night Review series for the month of April in 1995. Let me get the exact date on this particular program, but also understanding, too, that the benefit of connecting on a deeper level includes, but it's not limited to, being able to bring you literally 1,300 plus audios available on a variety of topics. That is certainly a good thing. Hopefully that is helpful to you, and there's all sorts of stuff to check out here. In any event, this is the April 1st, 1995 edition of WCW Saturday Night. April and the spring and summer of 95 are really awkward times. Nitro has not come into existence yet. Things are a struggle as far as getting things through. The uncensored pay-per-view debacle, which I think set the wrestling business, not only WCW, back quite a bit, has just happened, and for the most part, April of this year, certainly not a great time to be a WCW fan. Anyway, Harlem Heat is here. They are current tag team champions, facing off against the Armstrongs at the time. Scott and Steve, I believe. Anyway, Sister Sherry there with them, and arm bars, arm locks, and the like. Really basic stuff. Back kick by Booker T. Booker T obviously outshining his adversary. Actually, one of the Armstrongs, I believe, is in here, not both of them. Anyway, the tag team champions are pretty dominant. They still embroiled in their feud on and off with the Nasty Boys. That seems to go through the remainder of 95 for a while, and actually they come back to it in 97 before they, as a team, they being the Nasty Boys, are done. Nice inside out or outside in suplex by Booker T as well here, and ultimately, I mean, match goes on longer than it should. There's a good bit there, but it's also a match that really is an enhancement match that's stretched out into so much more. Harlem Heat says they're the best team ever, and Sister Sherry agrees in a post-match promo. We then see kind of talk with the legal team about the actions of Ric Flair in previous weeks. We see a bunch of other basic stuff, and they're kind of moving towards trying to do more adult storylines. Doesn't really quite work that well. Speaking of not working all that well, Sergeant Craig Pittman up next, and he is ground and pounding his opponent into the canvas. Arm bars, arm locks, and the story with Pittman, who is a good athlete, but I don't know that the gimmick ever gets over. Disgruntled former military guy. Basically, the whole idea of the match is a combination of head and arm chokes, and arm bars eventually does get the victory via a cross arm breaker, and he promises to be one of the best fighters of all time in WCW history. A little bit of an overstatement there. Nasty Boys come back in an enhancement match. Sags takes, or nearly takes, one of the heads off of the enhancement talent as he tries to prove that he and Knobs deserve to be tag team champions once again. Big top rope elbow after the power slam or pump handle slam by Sags, and ultimately we see the Nasty Boys are still back towards their winning ways. Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, up next, and he continues to be a guy who is quite well liked in the area. Enhancement talent takes him roundabout for a couple of minutes. Orndorff, at this point, kind of the bloom is off the rose because the Hogan contingent is in, and they're doing more with him, rocking on the cradle there, and a couple of shots along the way. We see Orndorff eventually get the pile driver and getting a victory in the medium run of it. enhancement match city here in this time period. Bunkhouse Buck and Dick Slater against Mark Reagan, I believe, and Barry Houston. Buck and Slater managed by Colonel Robert Parker. Barry Houston at the time, pretty intense in enhancement match guy, as he's a big deal at the time and can be counted on. Hard shots there along the way, and Slater, you know, he's been back and forth with WCW over the last several years. Major stay in the Georgia area, double kicks, double punches, and they're a couple of months, maybe a little bit less away from the start of the Colonel Robert Parker and Sister Sherry Love triangle sort of thing. Plugging the next Clash of the Champions up next. Nothing worth writing home about. The history between Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. They're trying to draw on that. Flair's retirement match deal there. Gotta grab my phone, and ultimately, we'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's jail. As per the return of the Hulk Hogan Flair feud throughout the next several years is there. We move into an enhancement talent match for Kevin Sullivan and the Butcher. Butcher kind of still being here is rather surprising, actually, as his feud with Hulk Hogan kind of bombed in December, so still doing the gimmick at the end of or the beginning of April is surprising. Anyway, Sullivan with the double stomps, promises of return, and eventually Beefcake manages to get a sleeper hold on his opponent, and there's some teasing dissension in the Three Faces of Fear. Also, we go on to Steven Regal trying to dignify Earl Robert Eaton, otherwise known as Bobby Eaton, with more, I guess you'd say, British manners and such. Then we see the boss, aka the Big Boss Man, returning. Still, he's doing the Guardian Angel thing / the Big Bubba thing. Actually, he has returned to Big Bubba, although more with the bluish, ensemble for a shirt. Maybe he lost his other shirt. Anyway, the punch and the sliding uppercut, followed by the win with the Boss Man Slam is there. Sting hyping the various gear and paint he wore during his important matches, including victories over Ric Flair at the Great American Bash 90s, victories over Lex Luger, basically trying to reestablish Sting as the face of WCW at the time. The idea that he's still around some nearly 30 years, well, not quite 30 years, but let's say 25 years later, pretty big deal. Johnny B. Bad is here next, and he is defending the television championship in what amounts to the main event of the program. Alex Wright is his main opponent here. Is not his main opponent here. Alex Wright is his tag team partner here, and he's not defending the championship. So for some reason I wrote this down, probably because there is an eventual television championship match between the two that I have put out of sequence here. Anyway, Bad is in the enhancement situation, and we kind of see, the attempted spinning toe hold and the alliance with Johnny B. Bad, who has been a major force in the area, is a pretty big deal. Colonel Robert Parker on the outside with his men, including Arn Anderson and I believe Dick Slater here. Anyway, this is your main event for the day. A little discombobulated because I had written the wrong date on this. Anyway, Anderson is good for Alex Wright, gives him some experience along the way. hard shots, and the cutoff on the ring is pretty aggressive. Anderson has been feuding with Johnny B. Bad, so kind of continues that a little bit. Heels maintain control for the majority of the match, believe it or not. And Wright is the main focus. Anderson remains in control for a good bit of that. And then we see Johnny B. Bad come back in. Wright pushes Anderson off the top rope from the inside, and a crossbody from Alex Wright from the top gets a victory for their team. In any event, that will close us for today. We'll be back with more right after this.